Glenn Morris here from the Smart Energy Lab, and today I'm at the Home Show in Melbourne, here at the Goodwe stand. I've come to see their awards for EcoSmart Kids. It's an awesome program that Goodwe initiated, but has many really important partners that I'll list below, who basically incentivise kids to think about renewable energy solutions and things that are saving the environment. So everything from being concerned about the coral reefs to generating clean energy. Well, I'm here with Dean Miller from the Great Barrier Reef Legacy at this launch of EcoSmart Kids Awards. Now, Dean, tell us about Great Barrier Reef Legacy. What are they up to?
So we're a non-profit organisation from Port Douglas, and we have a major project called the Forever Reef Project. So essentially what we do is collect every species of coral on the Great Barrier Reef, and there's 415 of them, and keep them alive in state-of-the-art tanks. So essentially it's like a coral ark or a seed bank, except this one's living.
Right. So you're worried?
Look, this is the insurance policy I think we need. We've seen 5 mass coral bleaching events in just 8 years since 2016. So things are happening very fast on the Great Barrier Reef, probably a little more concerning than we thought they were going to be. 5 in just 8 years is a big worry, and we know that with water temperatures and I guess projected climate futures, we're expecting more bleaching events to come. So the one thing we want to do is put a stop to losing coral species, and we think that we've potentially lost about 15 species already on the Great Barrier Reef. So in order to put the brakes on and just say, look, let's just get what we've got on the Great Barrier Reef now, make a living data backup and hold them in these special tanks so we can ultimately conserve them, but then make living fragments, genetic material and tissue samples available for reef research and restoration efforts.
Wow, there's so much to unpackage there. For a start, you said 15 species. How many species of coral are there?
Well, worldwide there's over 1,000, but on the Great Barrier Reef we have about 415.
Right, so a big proportion of the world's population of coral.
Yeah, nearly 50%.
And for those who are not from Australia, how big is the Great Barrier Reef?
It's big. So I'm sorry, I'm going to talk in kilometres. It's 344,000 square kilometres in area, covering about 2,300 kilometres of coastline. It's roughly about the size of Italy. So,
wow.
This is the largest living structure on the planet. The term can be seen from space, so it's an incredible ecosystem. The size of it builds resilience into the system, which is why the Great Barrier Reef is probably now the most healthy coral reef ecosystem on the planet. We need to remember this is not just happening to the Great Barrier Reef, but coral reefs worldwide. And in places like Florida, for instance, they've had coral bleaching, they've had hurricanes, they've had diseases go through, and they're now down to about 2% coral cover. So ecologically speaking, that's almost, we've lost that reef system. So we still have a window of opportunity on the Great Barrier Reef, which is why we're working so hard, and we want to get all coral species, all 415, into our biobank by 2026. We feel that the urgency is that great.
Right. So, apart from the impact on tourism, if you damage the reef, what else does it do for us?
Okay, so coral reefs are beautiful ecosystems. I think the most beautiful on the planet. They are one of the most biodiverse. But when you take a step back and go, yep, they're pretty, they're busy places. We've all seen Finding Nemo. They're extremely colourful and just, great places to visit. Nearly a quarter or over a quarter of all ocean life depends on coral reefs in some shape, way or form. So if we lose coral reefs, we lose a quarter of the ocean's marine life, their potential to survive. So that's huge. Then there's nearly 1 billion people worldwide who depend on coral reef ecosystems every single day for feeding families, for daily sustenance, for protection from wave energy. So, if we thought COVID was a social upheaval, wait till we lose coral reefs. So This is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, before we went on camera, we were talking a bit about the energy side of coral, which was quite fascinating. I'm from the solar world, but you say coral's a bit of a solar creator as well.
Yeah, I like to think of corals as almost like a little off-grid house.
Yep.
So corals like to live in pretty nutrient-free, clear water, which is why we see the most healthy corals out in the open ocean or right on the outer edge of the Great Barrier Reef. And what they've done very cleverly, millions and millions of years ago, is join forces with plants. So coral is an animal,
Yep.
like a jellyfish. It creates a calcium carbonate skeleton, which gives us its structure. And like a jellyfish, they can feed on little things, they can sting things, but it provides about 10% of their food source. By joining forces with plants, they've been able to put those algal cells in their tissue, so it would be like me having leaves under my skin. And by having that symbiotic relationship, they get 90% of their food source from plants. So it's like this solar panels under their tissue that give them this amazing energy to then create the largest living structure on the planet.
So it's kind of a mutualism thing. I guess the algae benefits from the protection, and all the fish that live around them benefit from the environment.
Yep.
I was really impressed when you said it's a quarter of the world's species are reliant on coral reefs.
Yeah.
So we're talking about our food systems, basically.
We're talking about the health and vitality of oceans.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And our food security, huge source of the world's protein comes from our oceans. Our oxygen, about 70% of our oxygen production
Yep.
comes from our oceans. Oceans are funny things because they're out there. We don't quite get to see what's happening underwater unless you're a marine biologist or someone who goes underwater often. But they are essentially our life support system. We shouldn't be called Earth. We should be called ocean, really, because it's 70% of the planet. But these coral reef systems are absolutely vital to our survival as well.
Right.
But it's kind of one of these canaries in the coal mine that we're seeing start to fail. In conjunction with kelp forests are disappearing, ice caps are melting faster than we ever thought imaginable. So, the Earth is telling us something's going on. And it's not just the Great Barrier Reef, it's coral reefs worldwide. So this is a global ecosystem or habitat that is starting to fail.
Wow. So I should mention that Dean here was to present some awards to some of the EcoSmart kids who had some projects that was pretty impressive.
It was,
and
yeah.
It's really encouraging to see kids getting involved and getting to know what the challenges are through practical activities like you judged.
I mean, I enjoy working with the kids probably more than anything in my professional, career.
Yeah.
I work with a lot of different people in a lot of different fields, but just seeing the kids' eyes light up, seeing that creativity, that inspiration that I get from them, in essence, we are leaving whatever planet we can, heal and protect to them. So we've got to leave them with the best possible tools, and part of that is education and helping them get to the level they need to be to take on the challenges that we're going to leave them. Hopefully we can, not leave them something too bad, but I think that the next generation's in really a great position. They have fantastic parents, they have fantastic schools and education systems that are really wired to thinking about solving environmental problems at the highest possible level. So, the EcoSmart Kids, supported and created by Goodwe, I think is one of the best initiatives I've seen. The quality of the projects that we saw was fantastic, and I think that the future is safe as long as these kids, pick up the challenge like they have and run with it.
Cool. Well, thanks, Dean, from the Great Barrier Reef Legacy. Great talking to you.
Good on you.
G'day, I'm here with Dean Williamson from Goodwe. Now, I'm here as a guest of Goodwe at the EcoSmart Kids Awards ceremony. Now, tell us a bit about the relationship between Goodwe and EcoSmart Kids.
Yeah, we first developed the EcoSmart Kids program a couple of years ago. It was more a passion project, if I'm to be honest. We saw a gap in the education program whereby, maths, English, these really critical skills are being taught to kids, and we felt that learning about sustainability and climate change is equally important, but we didn't see it happening enough in schools and with children. And so we developed a series of workshops. One of them was what is climate change? Another one was things that they can do to make a difference to the planet. Little things that they can do that makes a big difference. And then the last one was different types of renewable energy and solar. And the idea for us was not only to educate the kids, but we really wanted them to be driving these habits and this narrative at home. We wanted the kids to be actually teaching their parents and we've been blown away by the results.
And you brought along some partners in this endeavour.
Yeah, thankfully we've been aligned with Energy Matters. They've been terrific throughout the whole process. Also, Dean Miller from the Great Barrier Reef Legacy team. They're doing some wonderful things in terms of biodiversity and growing back the coral reef. And then also the Melbourne Home Show as well have been big supporters of us as well. And on the back of that, we run an awards ceremony once a year at the Home Show, whereby we get all of the kids to go into a competition. We want them to develop something that will raise awareness for climate change and sustainability. That could be a poem, a 3D model, a song, anything that they can come up with. We want them to use their imagination. And as I said, we've just been blown away by some of the things that these kids come up with. And I think, we've learnt probably just as much from the kids as they have from us.
Cool. I think it was a great initiative, and to see the smile on the kids' faces and their proud parents all sitting in the audience, well done.
Well, thanks, Glenn.
Thanks, Dean.
Thank you.